Aloha.
Shout out Pearl Harbor, by the way. Whoop, whoop. Estoy preparando. Hello and welcome. You are listening to the Baller Lifestyle Podcast. My name is Brian Beckner. Thank you very much for joining us. Episode number 555. Which reminds me, if we make it 111 more episodes, we got to do a full satanic Luciferian episode for 666. And we could get Aleister Crowley on the show. We could be biting heads off bats and shit. We go full Satanism if we make it to 666. We would love to hear from you. Send us an email. Mailbag@theballerlifestyle.com is the email address. Also, you can leave us a voicemail. 949-464-TBLS is the number to call. We would love to hear from you, of course. I can't do this alone, of course. I am joined by the great Mr. Ed Daly. Ed, how are you, buddy?
Doing well. This is our final recording of 2024 because we've pre-recorded one.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So.
I'm so bad at dates. Also, for the record, I didn't record. I just pushed the record on the audio. The video's been going the whole time. I just pushed record on the audio. I get flustered at the beginning now because we're on video.
It's too much. Looking at when I click into Zen and I have to look at myself, Zen. It's very, very odd. I don't like looking at myself.
It's not very Zen. I'm checking myself out. I'm wearing glasses because I've gotten to the point where so usually like I need the glasses to like right here. We'll just take you through it to see what's right here. Okay, where I write and stuff, or if I look at my phone, I need my glasses. To see you, I'm fine. To see the words over here, the words of the show are right there. So to see the words, I don't need the glasses, but suddenly I do today. I don't know why, but I need them. So, and now I can see those words better. So I got the glasses. So that's on my mind. I'm thinking about that.
The glasses.
Thank you. I'm thinking about that. The other thing is that then it used to be we'd start the show, we'd just start talking, and then I would put the sound in later. Which is better and more easy. Now, because we're on video, I can't put the sound. I mean, I'm sure there's a way, but I can't add the sound later. So I got to start the sound. Which I fuck up every week. Because as soon as I hit record here on the board, people like this stuff. They like this behind the scenes. As soon as I hit record here on the board, the labels disappear that tell me what buttons do what buttons play what sound, like right here. That's the one I need to press first. But I can't see it once I hit the record. So anyway, I forgot to hit the record, but also it's fine. You know, it's fine. It's good.
It's fine.
We're good over here. We're fine. Ed, what's going on? How's it going?
Not much.
So last show of the year. That's where I hijacked
what I
it.
tend to do right around now.
You look for some shit to say.
Health-wise, I still work out, but like I'm eating, like I'm making decisions that I just don't make in April and July.
So, well,
that looks like a delicious sandwich that I have no need to have today, and it's like, but I'm getting it. So because it's December 16th.
Years ago, you and I, we've never had the pleasure of each other's physical presence, which I'll one day remedy. I was just telling somebody, and this is embarrassing to say, and I'm not like this typical American that's never left his fucking home county and is scared of cities. I've been to places in the world. I've been to other continents. I've been to other places. I've been to many places in the United States. I've never in my life been to New York City.
Really?
Yes, that's what everyone says.
That's interesting.
I know. Everyone says that.
Because you could go to New York on your way to somewhere else too. Like
that's true. Well, I'm trying to think because I've been to Europe, but I think to go to Europe, I either went to like Dallas or like Atlanta. You know, like I don't think I went to New York even to just lay over. Wait, well, hold on. I've been to the state. I've been upstate.
Well, that's not
right. I've been in New York State. I know it doesn't. I've never been to this the city that never sleeps, a world-class city, as Jim Rome once called it. So what I was going to say is every year, despite the fact that we never met, something I know about you is that you used to really lock down and set yourself up to just go fucking ham around the holidays. You'd quit drinking, you'd be eating fucking chicken and broccoli and spinach, and you'd shut everything down, and then you'd fucking drink like a fucking pig, or afterwards you wouldn't. Now, I think you're just more healthy throughout the year, so it's not as
Yes.
important to set up for the holidays because you're generally in a more health conscious mode throughout the year. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
But like the other day I got Popeyes
Oh fuck.
and then I was like, man, that was so good. And then 3 days later I got Popeyes again.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm like, it's December.
Wow. Never had
Yeah.
Popeyes. Here's another thing.
Delicious.
Never had I would
Yeah,
love to have Popeyes.
That you need to remedy
Yeah.
quicker than New York.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. There's one not far away. So you've been eating like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I did have cauliflower for dinner, but pretty much.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I've been eating like shit.
You've been getting hoagies, you've been getting subs.
Well,
doing it up.
so when you I mean, this isn't crazy unhealthy, but if you spend a certain amount, you get a free turkey at the supermarket around Thanksgiving time.
Yeah.
I cooked the second turkey, and then I got fresh mozzarella, and I've just been having turkey and mozzarella sandwiches.
Oh, that's delicious. That's great.
And just
and also you make it like a job. You're like, I have to eat that turkey. There's so much turkey in the fridge.
Yeah.
I'm required to eat it.
There's zero appetite for the rest of my family to eat the other the second turkey, and I'm eating the entire thing, the whole turkey.
Yeah.
Now, turkey on its own is not the most unhealthy thing, but it's the sandwiches, putting toppings on
and the
there,
amount, the bread. Yes. So I know what you're saying because remember last year at this time, I was talking about I was recruiting people. I wasn't recruiting people. I just mentioned, hey, I'm going to do this thing when the year starts. I'm going to do 75 hard. And part of it was, and I've looked back and people have even texted me when I started 75 hard. And again, I was never like a daily drinker, and I don't really eat like shit. And I mostly exercise. But I drink on the weekends and I drink a lot of fucking heavy ass beers. And it was killing me, Ed. And look, sometimes on a Friday I would have 4 beers with Darb and the OC at the bar. And then I would go to the liquor store. I haven't seen my man Ben at the liquor store in a long time because I don't drink. I would go see my man Ben and I would get a bottle of bourbon and maybe a few Pliny the Elders and drink those at my house. And then I'm 8, 9 beers and some bourbons deep on a Friday. And then I keep that going throughout the weekend. My point is that when I do 75 hard and I've seen pictures of myself, see how we weren't on video then. The YouTube would not be able to contain my face because my face was this fucking wide. And I weigh I'm about 215 pounds right now.
Okay.
I was about 225. I didn't weigh so much more, but my face.
Well, it's just the weight distribution.
Yes,
where it was
my face was this fucking big. I had this big of a face. So that's why I just can't indulge like I used to, because it gets away from me. I start letting it go. And so I realize I need to be doing 75 hard, like most of the time, specifically, expressly for reasons of face. Because I don't want my face to be this big. My face used to be this big. I don't want a face that's this big. And call it vanity, whatever. I got to live that way now. Which kind of sucks.
I gotta be honest.
Tell me.
When I started getting in better shape, it's not that I really felt better.
Yeah.
It was a vanity.
Sure. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's not like when I was 20 pounds heavier that I felt like, oh, I can't do it. It was more I just didn't like looking like that. That was mainly it for me. I'm not, that's really what it was for me.
There's nothing wrong with that. One more thing before we get into the show. I would encourage, we have 4,000. I don't know how it happened. It's amazing. We have 4,000 subscribers on YouTube
Wonderful.
now. Many people watching us on YouTube every week. Very few comment. I'm not sure why. If you have the YouTube, say you're not a Red Circle subscriber, or even if you are, I behoove you, if you're within the sound of my voice, click the link in the show notes right now. Go on our YouTube, watch. You can even fast forward. It's like the last 20 minutes of the show. We were blessed last week to be joined by maybe the greatest thespian in American cinema history.
I forgot about that.
Johnny Depp.
Did it work out?
Johnny Depp joined the show last week. And he comes on all the time. He's fucking great when he comes on. He comes on all the time. He came on last week, but it's the first time since we've been on YouTube that our dear friend Johnny Depp has made an appearance on the show, and chef's kiss emoji. The man hit it out of the park. He was so good. He was fantastic.
I would guess earlier in the year, it was a big year. I'm guessing he's going to make an appearance during the year in review.
I would assume so. I mean, we talk about him often.
This was a big year for him. That lawsuit.
Was that this year? I swear to God, I thought that was last year.
Maybe it was last year. I was thinking maybe early this
year. Just last week, there was a big scam going around Facebook where Johnny Depp is hitting people up asking them for money. And he came on the show and he goes, "Oh no, I'm not asking them for money. I'm not asking people for money. I just do commercials for Sauvage by Dior cologne."
Dior.
Yes. So
but he wasn't opposed to scamming grandmas if the pay was right. He just said he hadn't done it yet.
He hadn't done it yet. And he's really got it in for Greco. Him and Greco, they were tight. They caught eyes in that spit roast. That's right. That's right. Harry Aoki, the great Dustin Nguyen, they are not tight anymore. So anyway, listen, if you haven't checked out our YouTube, and maybe YouTube's not for you, I advise you. It's a good reason to go check it out. Please do. One more thing, and I just saw this before we started. Props to the great listener of the show, long-winded emailer, and occasional caller, Drew in Phoenix. Great guy, friend of the show. He pointed out, last week we were talking about Elon Musk. I mean, he comes up often.
Well, when you consume that much wealth,
yeah, when
you're going to be
when you're that big of a piece of shit, when you're toting around your young child as a human shield, just in case somebody decides to CEO dispose of you.
CEOs are not in favor. Hey, take your kid to work there.
I did, and I bring him up not because I saw maybe the greatest tweet ever, and I shared it on my Insta stories. Somebody said I can't give credit. Somebody said something like driving having a cyber truck is like driving a Fedora, which is perfect, beautiful. But that's not why. We were talking about him last week, and I said I had heard story that he claims to be the top ranked at some video game.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And we said there's no way that's true. But if it is true, it's because he's unleashed his fucking army of Tesla engineers to boost he goes, "Here's my gamer tag, elevate me." Well, Drew in Phoenix let us know. He sent us a tweet. Elon Musk was kicked from the game Path of Exile 2. My penis is inside my body just from saying that name of that thing. Like what?
I gotta look up.
What if somebody clips that and puts it on the internet and it makes it look like I am somehow involved with something called Path of Exile 2? That's it. I will go unlaid for the rest of my life, but that's not it. Elon Musk was kicked from the game Path of Exile 2 for performing too many actions per minute. Exactly what we said. He's a fucking cheater.
Right.
Piece of shit. Yes?
Yeah, I'm just reading. Yeah, he definitely cheated. He had too many people working on his password or whatever, his username at the same time.
And imagine hoarding the most money on the planet, Ed. Like, if that's important to you, that's like, obviously, if you do that.
Yeah, I said consuming wealth. I meant
Yeah.
hoarding wealth.
Imagine
Yeah,
hoarding more wealth than anybody on the planet, and then sucking your own dick for buying a microblogging website and stealing some guy's fucking electric car idea, whatever. But then also needing people to think you're the best at a video game. Like, of all the things to fake being the best at, Ed, because if you're that rich, you could fake being the best at so many fucking things. But when you're...
So Scottie Pippen tried to make him look like he was the best at basketball.
Put him on Tony Kukoc's body. It was weird. It's a weird thing.
It's very odd.
But this fucking piece of shit, as called on this show, as we were first to say, this piece of shit. This is like that chess guy that had the butt plug that told him the moves to do.
Yeah.
Right? It's
right.
Yeah, but at least that's chess. Like, being good at chess is fucking super impressive. Being good at a video game? I mean, come on. Anyway, yes.
Yeah, I get everybody knows who he is. How many people really know, what is it called? Path of Exile 2?
Sorry. Yeah, I'll look again. Yeah, sounds right.
This was the first time I had heard of it. Like, you mentioning it a minute ago, that's the first time in my life I had heard
Me too.
Of it. So
yeah.
Why would you want to be the best at something most people
and yes, I agree. And all the people in the comments know, probably paying a cheater like he did with Diablo. Like, these gamer nerds, they know what's up. The truth is always in the comments. You just start reading the comments. Bro's low-key using his Neuralink. Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to point out that we got that right, as we do often. Let's look.
We always do.
Other things we get right is talking about who died. Let's talk about that. This is not the right song. Hold on.
This is the
I gotta switch. Hold on. I gotta reorganize. And I know people make fun of me for this, and they should. What I gotta do is I gotta have a chart that's not on the digital readout, because I have to move between banks, because we have so many beautiful, amazing songs on this show. We have banks of songs, and I gotta move around.
Put champagne and beers in here.
Whoa, drinking during the show? That's rare for you. It's that time of year.
But I was like, it's my last time.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Holy shit.
Let's get a tragic update. Tragic update. Cause that daily has been keeping.
Man, I don't think I can get fucked up off 2 champagne and beers.
You are hearing the song, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the champagne of beers. Ed, there's nothing wrong with the champagne of beers. I bet that's icy cold too in your Fragile mug.
Icy cold. Yeah.
I do miss that. But the problem is, I don't have 1. I have 4. And it's not bad to have 4. But if you have 4, your face gets this wide. Or my face gets this wide. And I don't want a wide face. That's it.
Tell me. First one, want to congratulate him for living in the 21st century. I didn't know that. My dad had
Ed Daly.
Ed Daly.
Your dad, Ed Daly?
Cards. Ed Daly, yeah. He had, very original, he had a set. He was born in 48. He had not a full set, but the 59 top set. And I would go through it and check it out. And I think he had about 14 of these. Rocky.
He was the Manny Sanguian of his day.
I was aware. Yeah. Although he was a 9-time All-Star with Cleveland. 91 years old. Never faced middle relievers. Faced very few people of color.
Rocky Colavito, I'll be honest, he's one of those guys like Wally Pipp. It's one of those names.
It's a name,
but I'm like, was it a guy on the Flintstones or was it a real player?
Oh yeah, he definitely is the name of a guy on Fred's office.
Yeah, was he a character on I Love Lucy or a guy that played in the major leagues? Like, I'm not 100%. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but we've confirmed Rocky Colavito, actual baseball player, but also dead.
But
assumed he died in the 70s, but hey, whatever.
We lost Bob Fernandez, the oldest Pearl Harbor survivor, 83 years after the bombing. He was 100, so he was a 17-year-old young pup. Man, that guy
what a savage. Yeah, R.I.P. Bob Fernandez. That's a real ass dude right there.
How many sexual partners do you think he had in his 100 years?
That's what they did back then.
They locked it down.
I was just thinking about that. I have this bracelet. You know my grandmother, Magdalena. Yeah, Maggie. Yeah. She's dead, but before she died, she gave me this. Gave me. I'm not wearing it. I don't know why I'm pointing to my wrist because there's nothing on my wrist. But she gave me like this bracelet that she said her first boyfriend gave her back in Guatemala. But she met my grandpa. My grandpa worked at the U.S. Embassy in Guatemala, and that's how they met. And I was thinking, yeah, he gave her this bracelet, but he never got the boots because my grand.
Because he thought this was leading to
my grandmother had exactly one sexual partner in her life, and that was my grandpa. And that's how they did it back then. They fucked one dude.
But then she knew about certain sexual acts.
I feel like I've told the story. I feel like I've told the story too many times. We'll save it for another time.
It's so good.
And who else died?
These are parents of a famous person, Thomas and Ruth O'Brien, Conan's parents. They died within 3 days of each other. Thomas was 95, Ruth 92.
That's so cute. Like a couple of basset hounds, they just couldn't live without each other.
Yeah. I always love the Onion headline that it says like wife who live. It's something about like if the wife lives a year longer, I guess she didn't really have much of a broken heart after all.
I was just thinking about that this week because my other grandma's still alive. My dad's mom, my paternal grandmother, she's 95. 94. My grandpa died in like 1997. So she's just been chilling, like, you're supposed to like go around the same time, like this Thomas and Ruth O'Brien. My grandpa died like a whole lifetime ago. It's really sad.
My grandfather, my mom's dad, died when I was in first grade, and my grandmother, his wife, died like 2 years ago.
Wow. Did she remarry? Wow. See, because you don't do that back then. You don't disgrace. Disgrace your husband by taking another dick.
83, I think 1983 until like 2022 or something like that.
Do you have that pact with Michelle Daly that she's not allowed to find a second man after you?
No, I told her if I die, have me cremated, throw me in the trash, and then go have sex with somebody. I don't care.
Fair.
I do not matter after that point. And then we lost another guy that, if you told me he died in 1993, I would have believed you. He was like Johnny Carson,
Letterman
kind of guy, right?
Yeah.
Letterman, the amazing Kreskin, 89 years old.
George Joseph Kresge. Oh, there we got the Kreskin. See, if he hadn't have died, there's two things I now know about Kreskin. So Kreskin, he would come on the David Letterman show, and he would.
But like the NBC, he wasn't on the CBS.
He would come on, and he was a mentalist, so he would do tricks. He was kind of like a David Blaine that got no pussy, like that. David Blaine's like a cool magician, which is fucking oxymoron.
Yeah, has that like edgy too.
And he does and David Blaine takes it up a notch where he's like, watch me stick this knitting needle through my jugular, and then he actually does it somehow, but because he's strong of mind. But Kreskin was one of these guys where, and this is what they're good at. He's like a psychic. They influence you into making decisions that they want you to make, and you don't realize that you're doing it. So that was his skill. One thing I didn't realize about Kreskin until this moment is that he was rocking a 79-cent out of a bubblegum machine toupee. Like this guy's fucking.
Yeah, I'm looking at this thing. The first picture that shows up is crazy bad.
It is jarring. He looks like the grandpa on Christmas Vacation, like with the fake hair.
Yes.
Yeah. But he was a great guest because I just can't get past this hairpiece. Letterman would shit on him the whole time, and he was a good sport about it. Like Letterman would just be making fun of him.
Right. He laughed it off, but yeah, he was a punching bag.
It's just crazy that he's 89 now. So in the early 80s, when he was in like his early 40s, when he was on Letterman, that's crazy.
Nuts.
Okay, I'm going to hit the right button now because we're going to talk. I just ate a whole mug of frozen cherries before the show, and they're backing up on me a little bit. Okay, let's talk some sports.
My name is Brian.
They call me the other guy.
I host a podcast show. I'll give hetero life a try. If you see something on my hand that makes you think I'm not a man, it's just my cool rings, you see.
They're as sparkly as can be.
My old Troy on DVD.
Okay, the audience is going to love this because I got balls deep on Kreskin. We're going to read his Wikipedia because it's pretty interesting. George Joseph Kresge Jr., January 12, 1935 to the other day. Always kind of bums me out. He was like 28 days of his 92nd birthday.
Yeah. When somebody
just have the birthday
right before
or right after, have it like a quarter, like 3 months after your birthday. Yeah.
How about Betty White? Yeah. They were planning like a TV special for her 100th, and she died like 3 weeks, 2 weeks.
She's in it for herself, man. I mean, just make it to the 3 digits.
Right.
Kresge was an American mentalist who became popular on television in the 1970s, inspired by mentalist Lee Falk's comic strip Mandrake the Magician. Now, Mandrake, that name, Mandrake.
Yeah,
I don't know. Is he a cartoon? Comic strip. Mandrake the Magician. Mandrake sounds like he's like, hey, what's behind this? He's like, what's behind this curtain? Oh, it's you sucking my dick. It's like that seems like what Mandrake would be kind of into. I mean, he was just a cartoon. He was born in Montclair, New Jersey, Ed. Polish father and Sicilian mother. And he grew up with his younger brother in Caldwell, New Jersey, where he would reside for most of his life. It's a nice neighborhood in Caldwell. Yeah.
I think there are different like West and North. One of the Caldwells is like
he attended, much like Tony Soprano did for one semester, Seton Hall University, earning a degree in psychology.
Much like my grandfather, also named Ed Daly.
And also Seton Hall grad. He worked for several years as a clinical psychologist while developing his act. From 1972 to 1975, Kreskin's television series, The Amazing World of Kreskin, was broadcast throughout Canada on CTV and syndicated to the United States. It was produced in Ottawa. His first television appearance was on The Steve Allen Show in 1964. He went on to appear approximately 100 times of The Mike Douglas Show, Merv Griffin Show. Merv Griffin had a deal. He lived out in Palm Springs, had a lot of money.
He did. Ton of
he invented Jeopardy, and he's like, I'll double dip. I'll write the fucking theme song. How about that? This Merv Griffin. You know how we like that movie Beyond the Candelabra about the great Lee Parachi? Great fucking movie.
Sure.
People think I'm joking. It's a limited. I think it might be 2 or 3. It's so good. The performances are good. It's like tongue in cheek, but it's done perfectly. So good.
A lot of good actors.
Anyway, they what I was gonna say is, I wouldn't mind seeing a Liberace send up of old Merv Griffin. I would like to know what was going on behind those walls at Merv Griffin's place. Yeah,
Merv.
Yeah, he
Merv
was
a mover and
he was
shaker
doing stuff
on several fronts.
It was and 88 times on the Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. It was Carson who gave him the moniker the Amazing Kreskin. Kreskin claimed that his first appearance on the Steve Allen Show, during which he tripped when blinded by stage lights, he was kind of bumbling, like he was not made for TV, inspired Carson to create the character Karnak the Magnificent, who would habitually stumble on his way to the Tonight Show desk. So Johnny jacked his gig. But in the 80s and 90s, Kreskin came to prominence again through several appearances on Late Night with David Letterman and the Howard Stern Show as well.
Yeah, I remember him on Stern
as around 100 appearances on Live with Regis and Kelly. Now, Regis is gone, right? Regis died. Yeah.
Regis checked out like not that long ago, like 5 years ago. Something like that. It wasn't too long.
Though Kreskin made predictions, he did not claim, this is his thing, did not claim to have
Gelman.
We got to have him on. Paranoid or clairvoyant powers, and did not like to be considered a psychic. That's what I was saying. One of his best known tricks was to find his own paycheck for his current performance. If he did not find it, he did not get paid for that day. He would instruct the audience to hide an envelope containing the check while he was escorted off stage and into seclusion by other members of the audience. He then reemerged and hunted through the audience, almost always being able to ferret out the correct location. That's my point. He could tell by your reaction, shit you didn't know you were telling him. Anyway, he was an awesome dude. And R.I.P. Kreskin. I found that interesting. Ed, what is going on in the world of sports?
Yeah. Porn star Celina Powell claims to have slept with Heat guard Terry Rozier pregame before they lost to the Nuggets 135-122. So she just put it out there like, oh, I just fucked
Terry
number
Rozier
2 or whatever. It's something like that.
Is he a current NBA player? Because he sounds like he could be a guy from the 80s. But I believe this guy.
Yeah. He could, he does sound like that, but he was a Celtic.
Bobcats.
He's been on the Heat for
was
a
he
while.
Bobcat?
Yeah. I believe, or a Hornet. Yeah. Wait, he was on one of the
Now, as we've noted many times. First of all, I mean, look, this Terry Rozier needs to get it in. I would say save it for after the game.
It seems like an
somebody told me recently about an NFL player they knew that liked to dip it twice prior to every game. He just needed that to like get in game mode. If he didn't dip it twice, he wasn't going to have a good game. That seems like a lot.
I can't speak to these athletes, but man, last thing I am after a session is very sharp and locked in. Yeah.
I mean, 2 in a week is a good amount. 2 in a day? Come on, man. I'm not 16.
My senses are fully
I need bigger glasses. Now, so I don't got a problem with this Terry Rozier doing this. Look, this chick, look, you lay down. Yeah, that's not cool.
Like that
it's not cool, but you
put it out.
You lay down with porn stars. Now, Ed, you and I, we're not versed on the modern porno actress. Like we're not. Yes,
she looks very much like
one. So
but
I'm gonna have I don't know who this person is. Celina Powell. That's not Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character on Veep, is it? Oh, very close. Kyle. Yes, you're right. So and you know who would know?
Also, she spells Celina.
I know.
What is this?
Yes,
spelling?
That's Celina. Very confusing. You see here, porno chicks. You're coming up in the porno game. You want something that's Googleable, okay? That's easily Googleable, but also you don't want it to be too similar to anybody else's name. You want it unique. There's probably agencies that specialize in this. Reach out to a professional. Come up with a name. What I was going to say is, Ed. Yes.
Wait.
Kyle, no, you're right. You had it right.
That does sound. Wait.
Yeah, Veep. what I was going to say is what we know for sure is that the Friday Night Baller Lifestyle podcast.
Celina Powell is the name for Catwoman.
Celina Jones. Irving Myers.
Is that right?
Celina. Anyway, Meyer.
Yeah, Meyer.
What I was going to say is we don't know about porno stars. The guys who would be experts on this are, of course, the bowling correspondent Ben 906 and his buddy Mr. Super Lee. Because every Friday night on the Baller Lifestyle podcast, rather than talking about this podcast, they like to spend a lot of time talking about their favorite porno actresses, is my understanding. So they probably know who this is. I'm going to give you my review of her right now. Oh, she's an AI. This is not a real person. She's got a lot. Yeah, she looks very she's
fake.
Adopted the, I don't even know. Oh, this Acceptar. This website's in Spanish. She's got implants, and they're kind of doing this. She needs a redo. That's what they call a refund gap that she's got there. Her face looks like an AI. Look, buddy, Terry Rozier. Yes.
Predators can't sneak up on her nipples because they're going.
She does have a picture of herself sitting courtside. So, she's got.
Yeah, you don't get that kind of access without.
She got fake lips, fake tits, fake ass. Yeah, it's all.
Fake ass.
It's not for me.
I mean, yes, not for me. Sure. I mean, she's good looking and very porn starish, but yeah, she got those seats somehow.
Terry Rozier, I assume that's what you're doing. But this is what happened. Remember Zion Williamson? He had relations with a porno actress. Yeah, and she put him on blast. She posted a picture of his bathroom and where there was like hundreds of Mountain Dews all strewn. Yeah, it's just nothing but Mountain Dew. So it's like, look, you know who this never happened to? Derek Jeter. He knew what to do. Put your phone right there. Hand it to my guy. My guy will keep your phone safe for you. Don't worry about that. And now you get to have relations with the captain. And you can tell your friends about that, but you ain't going to have no receipts because I'm the captain. I know how to do it. Ed, what else is going on?
Speaking of NBA players fucking things, LeBron James seems to be fucking around with the Lakers these days. He's taking
catch
some
up on
time
his
away
reading
from the Lakers and might be traded. He's putting it out there.
Let's hope.
Might be traded.
Here's the Lakers, the once great Lakers franchise, Ed. Stupidest franchise in the NBA now. The worst run franchise in the NBA. LeBron James, who's 100 years old and plays like it. Yeah. Yes. He forced the Lakers to draft his son for reasons unknown and then give him like a $10 million contract that he couldn't.
And he couldn't even make it to the All-Star weekend, but before taking time away.
This Bronny James couldn't crack the lineup at USC. He couldn't crack the lineup for the girls team at USC. Ed. This is how. Yes, pathetic.
He averaged like 1 point a game in college.
This LeBron James forced the Lakers to draft him and then acted like he got drafted of his own ability, based on his own ability. And now the Lakers are just like kind of okay. And like LeBron's over it. But Ed, the Lakers, who are fucking idiots. In Major League Baseball, it's pretty common if you're a star player to have a limited no trade clause. In the NBA, it's non-existent. Yeah. They do not do it. They don't give them out. Yeah.
I didn't realize that. No, wait a second.
I just looked it up.
I thought when the Knicks ended up,
so he had one.
Carmelo,
that's right.
There was like
You're right about that, Ed. So they have existed. So I misspoke. They have been done, but it's not common practice. So currently in the NBA, there are exactly 2 players with no trade clauses. LeBron James, for reasons unknown, and Gene Simmons, for reasons unknown. LeBron James, for reasons unknown, and Gene Simmons, for reasons unknown. LeBron James, for reasons unknown, and Gene Simmons, for reasons unknown. LeBron James, for reasons unknown, and Gene Simmons, for reasons unknown. LeBron James, for reasons unknown, and Gene Simmons, for reasons unknown. LeBron James, for reasons unknown, and Gene Simmons, for reasons unknown. LeBron James, for reasons unknown, and Gene Simmons, for reasons unknown. LeBron James, for reasons unknown, and Gene Simmons, for reasons unknown. LeBron James, for reasons unknown, and Gene Simmons, for reasons unknown. LeBron James, for reasons unknown, and Gene Simmons, for reasons unknown. LeBron James, for reasons unknown, and Gene Simmons, Also, for reasons unknown, Bradley Beal. So the Suns are never getting rid of Bradley Beal unless he decides. Yeah.
Oh, that's
right. Prior to that, David Robinson had one, Carmelo Anthony, Kobe Bryant, of course, Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett. But current players, there's only 2, LeBron James. So the Lakers are like fucking stuck with this dude unless he tells them where he wants to go for pennies on the dollar, whatever. Just send him away, send his son, like we're done. The time has come. It's time for him to go, right, Ed? Yeah.
It's just crazy. In the same season, they just forced him to take his son. Like the same season, they take his son, and then he's like, "This isn't working out after 20."
Yeah, because he's a bitch.
Or whatever.
He's a bitch. Crazy. He's always been a bitch. Let him be somebody else's bitch now. We're done with him. Send him away. Yeah.
Ex-Bills wide receiver Eric Moulds sued for knowingly infecting women with incurable herpes. Now, I know a story about Eric Moulds.
I don't have errors and omissions here, Ed. So, like, I don't have malpractice liability insurance here. So maybe Okay. Oh, okay. Then say
this is complimentary.
Got a big ass dick. That's what you're about to say. You're about to say Eric Moulds got a big ass dick. I didn't.
Well, you know that's where this is going, but this is even. It's better than that. It's better than that. So, when he was in college, I know somebody who went to high school with one of his college teammates at Mississippi State. His dick was so big, so long, that as a joke in the locker room, he'd swing his dick and catch it with his ass cheeks.
Up. What a
the Eric Moulds. We've been talking about this for years because it's such a crazy story that he could swing and catch it with his ass cheeks.
The Eric Moulds. Who could do that? There's like 2 people on the planet.
And he had a nice career, and then I hadn't heard of him.
Yeah, hold on. I got to open an incognito window here because it's I got ad blocker on. Hold on. Just hold on a second. This is why I got rid of ad blocker in the first place. Ex-Bills star Eric Moulds sued for knowingly infecting women with incurable herpes. Now, I need some answers from the herpes sufferers in our audience. No shame. You can be anonymous. Send me an email. Don't you have to be like actively shedding? Don't you have to have a live
sore
lesion to be? Don't you need to be blistering to infect somebody else? It's just like if you have herpes, and you could tell by how little I know about herpes that I'm clearly not infected with herpes. Because look at all these questions I'm asking. I would never, like somebody that had it would never ask these. So it has to be out for you to.
I remember when we were in high school. I remember at one point they gave us like what is not a seminar? What do they call it? Like
an assembly.
You all go to the auditorium.
Yeah.
Assembly, that's it. And they did the like STDs. You guys are lesions. This is what, and they just showed us some pictures, and I still think of of those images, and that's what I'm picturing.
That no
lesions.
Because it's my understanding as a non-herpes sufferer, just want to make clear that it's a pretty easy thing to deal with. That you're good, as long as you're not in active breakout.
Well, unless you're somebody who needs
you're
to
like,
get
hey, I got
time.
You'll need to fuck. Former Bills star Eric Moulds is being sued by a Western New York woman. Oh, Buffalo. Oh, does he still live there? What a psycho. Accusing him.
Well, it came from
of knowingly infecting her with an incurable sexually transmitted disease. Remember, Usher did this to somebody too. Usher Raymond. We did that story quite a bit when it happened. In a complaint filed in New York State Superior Court on Tuesday, the woman, whose name has not been made public, claims that Moulds spread herpes simplex virus. Right. Type
She doesn't
2
want her name
to
public.
her and several other women by targeting single mothers who were Buffalo Bills fans living in Western New York. Do you think he put that in his Tinder? Can you do that? The disease is incurable but can be treated. The woman claims in the court papers that in January 2023, she finally accepted Moulds' offer for an all expenses trip to be with him in North Carolina after they had communicated on Instagram since 2019. It was there the two began a sexual relationship that lasted until November 2023. Well, that was 4 years. She was fucking him for 4 years, Ed. Yeah.
Right. And also, why did he have to go and do that, like, scam to, like, hey, Western New York women, just do your locker room trick and you'll get women lined up.
She alleged Moulds knew or should have known he had a sexually transmitted disease. The woman claims she didn't find out about the former NFL receiver having herpes until Moulds' pregnant fiance of 8 years. She's been pregnant for 8 years? That's too long, Ed. Something wrong. Got in touch with her in December 2023, and she suggested she get tested because she and other women who Moulds has relationships with had been transmitted diseases by him. The plaintiff alleges she and Moulds had sexual relations for the last time in November 2023, and it was unprotected. Now, here's the other thing. I don't think a condom, look, again, never used a condom, never had herpes, so I don't know either. But I like the herpes, the condom, as I understand it, only goes over the dick part. So if the herpes action is like in the ball area or around I'm actually touching there right now for reasons unknown, around the base. Like if it's around the base, you could still be given herpes out if the lesions are in the lower part, right?
It's been quite some time since I wore a condom, but it covers. I mean,
I would think,
you've got like
right?
infected balls.
Do the lesions only show up like on the head, the glans penis, or
First of all, I have a hard time believing even magnets are going to contain this guy, so he's not wearing condoms.
Yeah, because
come on. Even I felt really encumbered. I felt like really put out when I had to wear a condom.
Good point.
It was too
She
tight
began
for
to have
me.
symptoms a month later. That can't be a good feeling. She ended up testing positive for herpes after having no other sexual partners, according to the lawsuit, and proceeded to learn more about Moulds' alleged actions with other women. Moulds had also been sued by several women for knowingly spreading herpes over a decade ago. The woman alleged she was also offered a payment for dropping her lawsuit in a bid to buy her silence, and the lawsuit claims previous women were paid off and forced to sign non-disclosure agreements. I mean, this guy's just herping up and then just saying, hey, I'll pay, here's 50 grand, don't tell anybody.
Yeah, I don't know if he's got some sort of announcing job, but like the money's not coming in anymore, buddy. Like
maybe just take he did play 12 years though, Ed. 12 seasons in the NFL, including he was good. He was good.
He was a good player. So like he got paid.
Well, he's in the pension, and I bet you the pension pays him about like 4 sticks a year. You know, like he's probably doing all, he's doing okay. It's assuming he didn't buy any tomato farms or any of the other things these guys get suckered into a lot. Look, I just want the truth here. I want a herpes sufferer, or I know we have quite a few medical professionals in the audience. If you are yes, if you suffer from or have distributed herpes around the world, or you work in the medical profession, let us know. Can you get the lesions on the ball or shaft area, or is it like, does a condom work for that? I have no idea, obviously. Ed, what else is going on in the world of sports? Oh yeah.
Well, the herpes of the sports
I did it
world,
again.
Aaron Rodgers. He says,
did you hear that sound, Ed? Of course you did. Hold on. I forgot to turn on the do
Yes,
not
it did.
disturb. Okay, go.
Ding. Aaron Rodgers says he had stunted emotional intelligence growing up because his dad didn't cry.
Blames everything on his family.
This guy.
Because they know his secrets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just, his stunted, but this implies that he's now very emotionally intelligent when day after day, week after week, day after day, he's saying emotionally stupid things. So he's making it seem like, oh, I was, I've emerged from the from this horrible world, and now look at me, I'm so emotionally intelligent. He just vomits out words every day, and he's a fucking moron.
He's a blowhard. Yeah.
And much like LeBron James, he plays they're GM for his
because
team,
of him,
and they stink.
Also, I believe he's a free agent, and also did I
because
hear?
Of him.
Oh, two things. Did I hear that there's a documentary coming out about Aaron Rodgers? Who the fuck's asking for that?
I think you're right. Yeah.
Who?
We got too much.
Yeah.
Are we going to get a documentary on the Kelsey brothers too? Like we're getting too much exposure.
Because that's probably true. Like you're saying that, you're going to speak it into existence. Also, I caught a little. I got enough. I'll just say that of the 30 for 30 New York sack exchange. Ed.
Oh, I didn't watch that one. Gastineau.
Well, kind of, because Gastineau, he's actually the interesting one because he was bullied, and he was bullied growing up because he was a fat ass, and then he got real big and he made it to the NFL, and he was bullied by that mean bully Joe Klecko while he was on the team. Joe Klecko hated his guts. But Ed, it's Joe Klecko, the New York Sack Exchange. That's the guy I couldn't remember. Yeah.
Marty Lyons.
Joe Klecko, Abdul Salam, who used to be called something else before becoming Muslim. Mark Gastineau. Yeah. Marty Lyons, which sounds like a movie reviewer that does a show with Rex Reed. And they're like, oh my God. The Birdcage
Rex
movie
Reed,
of the decade. Let's watch it again. Marty Lyons.
Bingo!
But this Joe Klecko was a real mean jerk. And Mark Gastineau, and they didn't like that Mark Gastineau would dance after the game. They didn't, because it showed up the offensive lineman or whatever. But you know what was funny, Ed? All the white guys hated Mark Gastineau's guts on the team. And all the fucking black guys loved him. He was popular. He was popular with all the black guys on the team, and all the white guys hated his guts because they felt he was courting attention. And he's like, I'm just having fun, I'm finally not this bullied fat kid anymore. Right. But Ed, more importantly, like they didn't show like the people that Klecko and Gastineau have to read the menu for them and here's how you tie your shoe, because these, because
let me put this
these dudes, on I don't know how because they're like probably 70 in their 70s. And it's like, how have they been able to sign a check and use the television remote, stuff we take for granted that people with Klecko and Gastineau's condition seem to have bigger issues with. They don't delve into that part, which is what I was interested in.
Klecko's nostrils must be enormous now because they were huge.
They're pretty big. He's got the teeth. He's got the whole thing. I would recommend at least a portion of the New York Sack Exchange so you can get what I'm talking about. And the Aaron Rodgers documentary, 0 stars already. I can already tell you it's not something you're going to want to watch.
No.
Okay.
Well, let's stay with Aaron Rodgers because he ripped ESPN, transforming into a bounty of unfounded or asinine takes while he was
his buddy.
ESPN. I assume on the Pat McAfee show.
How's he even a topic? Like he's on a bad team.
Because he just Yeah, and he forced he had everybody fired. He forced trades. Oh, I know we signed Mike Williams and this. We're gonna commit all this money for Devontae Adams because he's better. But now Devontae Adams. I was talking to a Jets fan yesterday. If Rodgers doesn't return, if he returns, they'll have to restructure his deal. If he doesn't return, they have to cut Devontae Adams because they'd be on the hook for like 20-something million.
He's the one with the commercials where he's got a Taco Bell in his house. Yeah.
He had a good game yesterday. But
look, I mean, it's time. This Aaron Rodgers, he's just like LeBron James. He was kind of good for a while, but it's over. Like, it's done. It wasn't good. He hasn't been good on the Jets. He's 40 years old. He's not Chris Chandler out there.
But he goes on.
Yeah, he goes
on McAfee and gives theories. I'm inundated with clips of him saying stupid shit. Point. And he's mad at ESPN for transforming into a bounty.
He's on there doing
asinine takes.
Yeah.
That's you.
He's the one that's on ESPN doing that shit. Have you seen the drones, Ed? Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of questions about the drones. I don't think drones are. I haven't heard of any drone talk in Hoboken.
Something outside now.
But they're out there.
Did you know they're the size of a vehicle? These drones? Yeah. I didn't.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
All I've seen are memes with wood. Hey, zoom in on the drone. It's wood with a big penis.
I would like that. Barry Wood.
It's
I've seen that one.
McDonald's bags to Chris Christie.
Okay, well, give me an update if you see. Because once in a while I'll see a drone out here, and it's fucking annoying. They should be illegal just because they're so fucking nerdy. And they're up to no good. What's that? And
it's noisy, right?
You're gonna see one. The people in New Jersey are seeing them, and you're in New Jersey. They're going to be around. You're going to see one. Let us know when you see one, okay? Give us an update.
But why?
Well, I mean, there's different theories,
about New Jersey?
but that's not not our business. He knows. He definitely
I'm sure Aaron Rodgers will give us his take
what else,
on
Ed?
these next week. Okay, this is the most bitch move of all this week. A politician proposed a new bill that would make flag planting at Ohio State games a felony because Michigan beat them and planted their flag and they had that brawl.
What's
felony?
It's so bitch.
It's so bitch. Just win the goddamn game if you don't want someone to plant a flag.
Aren't these? I imagine this politician is also like one of those fuck your feelings type of people, where he's like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, if this flag offends you, then suck my dick. Like, he's one of those guys, but also he's such a fucking pussy. Yeah.
These colors
and
don't
he's
run.
Such a fucking pussy because
don't do this.
Yes, yeah. Josh Williams, what a bitch, said Wednesday on social media he's introducing a bill to make flag planting in sports a felony in the state. His proposal comes after the new November 30th fight at the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry football game when the Wolverines beat the Buckeyes 13-10. Oh my God!
It was a terrible game. It was a terrible game for a neutral because it was like, oh, come on, like nothing was happening. It's like neither team wanted to win.
Who cares? Yeah, I mean that I like.
But Michigan is having such a down year, and it was like, of course Ohio State's going to do it. Yeah, I like that, and they still beat Ohio State. But they tried to drum up this kind of controversy. I went to the Knicks game last Wednesday.
Wait, that's going on in season,
and they lost to the Hawks.
Who's in it?
Yeah, the finals are like tomorrow or something. Bucks versus the Thunder. But the Knicks lost in the quarterfinals. They were favorites, and Trae Young celebrated at midcourt, and they asked Jalen Brunson. They're like, "Hey, what do you think about that?" He's like, "I think we should have won if we didn't want him celebrating at midcourt." And that's it. And like they were like, but what? Don't you feel he disrespected the logo? And he's like, we had a chance to not have him celebrate by winning.
I agree.
And this fucking bitch,
no, it's very
Ohio
bitch.
politician.
Yep,
The team needs to win if they don't want people planting a flag
because it's happening in Ohio. But what I was going to say is Trae Young, he should be allowed to celebrate if he beats the Knicks, because remember in that playoff series when every time he would shoot a free throw,
Trae Young's balding.
And also Trae Young, he's doing that. He's all over balding. He's got the mange, which is the worst. Because look, I got the recession here. I got the thigh marks, right? Well, that's the normal way to go bald. His kind of balding is he just kind of like loses it throughout, which is just the fucking worst way to go bald. I mean, it's devastating, especially to a guy that's probably trying to fuck a lot of porn stars, being on Instagram and being in the NBA. So if they're making fun of him for being bald when he shoots a free throw, goddamn right he's going to fucking celebrate at midcourt.
Yeah, I get it. And also, I don't like that the Knicks fans, like the collective Knicks fans, latched on to just saying fuck Trae Young and Trae Young is balding when his career record, they won the other night, but he still shot like 30% in the game. But his career record against the Knicks is like 6-18. And they talk about him like he's the villain. And they used to do this with Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller did not have a good record in New York. And he's like, I own this building. And it's like, just because you hated his guts, but like he wasn't the most successful guy. When I was a kid,
he was.
Jordan was the enemy because he was the one who was beating the Knicks. Reggie Miller wasn't beating the Knicks very often.
Conference finals, Ed. Smoke those Knicks. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
But Reggie Miller beat the Knicks like once in the playoffs.
Let's do some voicemails and emails, and also we're going to ramp up the degree of difficulty here when I play the song.
He's so easy to hate. Your time he likes to waste. His calls are far from great. His calls are far from great. He's such a stupid fuck. He seems down on his luck. His voicemails really suck. His voicemails really suck. No one's enjoying him. He's so annoying. Plus so fucking boring and worthless, but he's got nothing else to do. And he's even worse than ish. His thoughts are useless shit. He's fat and got big tits. He's Manuel in Gardenia. Whoa, he's Manuel in Gardenia. Whoa.
That's a pretty long one. Ed, let's hear from some of the listeners. I believe we have a voicemail.
B.E., what's happening, fellas? I know it's a little early, but Merry Christmas.
Thanks.
I'm assuming y'all are going to do a year in review and then break, so I figured I'd better call it in now and wish you a happy holidays.
Thanks.
Hope y'all have a great one, and all the ballers out there as well.
Thanks, buddy.
Hope Travis made it in to do a review. I know that's his favorite episode of the year, so hopefully you were able to get him in. Or get him on if that's next week. But anyway, in the famous words of our dearly departed friend Dola, hope you have a white Christmas. Take care, guys.
White Christmas. Dolomite D, that's where he ejaculated. It came out the girl's nose.
Take care.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. I believe it's been several years.
Yeah.
Our year in review is like
year,
to start
the first week
year, right?
of the new year. So we will do that. I got to take issue with LSU because I posted on my Insta story that I've been trying to make lists. Ed, I have ADHD, so I start, stop a lot of shit. So sometimes it helps me to write down shit that I need to do. So I had written a list of like shit to do, and it was like Christmas, decorate the tree. Put up the Christmas lights, there's like 5 things on the list. And then somebody that lives in my house who's been on the show before, who helps us with calls when we need teen advice. And that one time she said I made it to the grade she's in and all that.
Right.
Well, I think it was her. She came through and added to my list, and on the list she added Sugma balls and Ligma balls on the list. So, and it was pretty funny. So mean. She's so mean. She was
Very
born mean.
Sometimes funny.
So I took a picture and I posted it. And you know how it's real annoying when people don't get the actual joke and they just start pointing out other shit. And so this LSU's like, but it's only 13 days till Christmas. You're just now putting up the like stuff like that. And it, like the list was from a while before that. Okay. And that's not important. The ball sucking notes and ball licking notes on the list are the funny part. Don't pay. The rest of the list could just be any kind of words. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the words I wrote. Right. It doesn't matter the words I wrote. It matters the words the other person wrote that were mean to me. That's the joke of the list. Oh, it's because of your Christmas lights.
I figure out this. Why
Yeah.
is it so glossy looking? This.
Yeah, they're refracting.
Yeah. Well, this is the last show with the Christmas lights, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
I put them up right after Thanksgiving, but then
yeah.
But
they can
then
go.
I'm
That's
like
great.
December
That's a great way to do it.
so,
Look,
everything goes. I'm out.
It's a job. Yeah, it's a job.
Because I don't want New Year's
Day
and then
or
have
the
to like
after.
go take
Day
shit
after is
down.
the cutoff. Second. Ideally, they're down by New Year's Day, which I would agree with. Okay, we have an email here. Hi, Brian and Ed. As you may know, I follow a certain Twitter account with the goal of becoming a better, more consistent person. This is proving to be much more difficult than I expected. I was previously told that YouTube TV was incompetent and did not provide a sufficient answer to a multi-view concern. 2 weeks later, I am told that YouTube TV raising their prices by 14% to $84 was, quote, inevitable, followed by, quote, YouTube TV is a, quote, superior product, and it is the future. Any guidance that you and Ed can provide to help me understand this consistency would be appreciated. Thanks. That is from our friend G-Fish. And G-Fish is a bad guy, but also he's a pretty good producer because, of course, he's talking about our dear friend Jason Stewart that's been tweeting that. Yeah. It's a lot.
You and I have discussed because he's very defensive. Like he wanted to defend YouTube TV jacking their prices by saying it's superior. It's the way of the future. Please don't
also,
bad
the
about
future is some new shit that we don't even know about yet. It's the now. It's the 5 years ago is YouTube TV. It's the future.
Right.
It's not the future. You don't even know what the future is. Oh, no.
He declared today. I saw.
God damn it! I saw that too. Okay, hold on. We're gonna get to that first. Let's quote him accurately. I've been a customer. Oh, so he's retweeted because Awful Announcing shared that YouTube TV increases prices by $10 a month starting in January. Jason Stewart thought that worthy of a retweet and so he could share his thoughts on YouTube TV. I've been a customer since 2019. The price increase was inevitable. The low cost at first. He's teaching us about loss leaders, Ed. The low cost or audience capture. The low cost at first was to steer people away from cable and satellite, and it worked. Now it's a superior product, and it is the future. Then today, Ed, the one you're talking about, which was fucking wild. I don't know. And also, I only go on to Twitter, X. He also calls it X. I only go on Twitter usually to share my sports picks, which is we're on a little bit of a. It's not going great right now, but we're going to get it back tonight. But by the way, what's going on Monday Night Football? Give me a score.
The Vikings are up 13-0 early third quarter on the Bears. And the Falcons are up 9-3 the end of the second
He tweeted today with a picture. Like he cut and pasted, or he screenshotted a picture, which I don't even know how he can do because he's an Android guy. I don't even know if it's possible, but I guess it is. Well done. Hashtag Yellowstone TV. He fucking hashtagged it. It's 2009 on Jason Stewart. Who did he give a tweet of the day to? And also,
blow up in
what's now playing on Jason Stewart's Twitter? Welcome, hashtag Yellowstone TV. Ending a story well is very hard to do. Oh, that's not, I mean, we don't want to get too deep on how upset he was. He was the most mad online ever about the ending of Game of Thrones. Apparently this went better. Ending a story well is very hard to do. I think Taylor Sheridan and company, and also he did Taylor Sheridan, that's a proper name, and then he used an ampersand and capitalized the co. Like it's a store that sells like leather goods. Taylor Sheridan and Co. I think Taylor Sheridan and Co. He does, yes. Pulled it off. It was a pleasure to watch from beginning to end. A top 3 show in my book. Sopranos, The Wire. Wow. I mean, I could list 100 better top shows. 3. I mean, I've never seen an episode of Yellowstone.
If you like it, fine. Yeah. If you like it, I heard so much buzz about this show. Yeah. And I even watched deep into the second episode because I was like, all right, I'm going to start. And it was gorgeous. Still looked beautiful, but gravelly voice, Kevin Costner, and a bunch of people talking about land. No. And I just need land. I care about my land more than anything. Everybody's talking about land. I live in a fucking shoebox in Hoboken. I don't give a fuck about land. Yeah. Land means nothing to me. Yeah. So
land.
Yeah. So talk about outer space. The same thing to me. Yeah. So I was like, I am fucking out as out can be on this show. So if you like it, fine. But there's no chance this is a top 3 show of all
much
time.
More
There's
basis.
No chance.
You have much more knowledge than I do on this subject because I swear to God, it was probably about a month ago. I think I was watching football or something, and there was a commercial on for Yellowstone, a trailer, a promo, whatever you want to call it. And I was looking at it and I was like, why are they using cell phones and driving trucks and shit? On God, Ed, this whole time, I thought Yellowstone, was in the Old West. I thought it was an old-timey show. I'm like, wait, they got Chevy Silverados back on the plains? And it turns out it's now on Yellowstone. I didn't know. Swear to God. But it's a top 3 show as far as Jason's concerned. And also, I'll just leave you with this one because Jason's, and he'll love this because he loves attention. Jason's Twitter feed is just an absolute gold mine. Take this one. This is Hemingway right here. 2-word tweet. December 9th. Remember Threads? That's it. I think he's talking about the Facebook.
But seriously, folks. Hey, remember Threads? Hey, tip your bartenders.
Oh no, there was a really good one here, Ed, that I saw earlier. It was about fantasy football. Hold on. Fantasy. Yeah.
Oh, I did see that where he's like, can you imagine?
Fantasy football is more a crapshoot than it ever has been. Imagine assembling a great team over 14 weeks through draft /trades/waiver, only to watch these 3 outperform your starters. And then And he has the face palm emoji. And then it says the top 3 fantasy running backs so far this week: Tyjae Spears, Jerome Ford, and Justice Hill. Can you believe that, Ed? Holy fucking shit. That is some crazy fantasy football. It's just gone wild. Okay. Thank you for that, G-Fish. Or no, thank you. I don't know. It is a very good segment, so I do appreciate it. Let's talk some non-sports, Ed.
Well, it's time for non-sports segment on the Baller Lifestyle Podcast. Non-sports. I'm talking about the segment now. Non-sports segment.
Ed, what happened this week in the world of things that are not that much?
It's not quite as bitch as the Ohio politician, but this
they're both
New
Joshes,
Jersey
by the way. The other guy was a Josh
Democrat,
too, and also
Josh
Josh is not a politician. See, we've talked about this before. We're gonna he's a little shit. This Josh that wants to get in your flag football game, and he's just annoying. Like, you don't want this Josh guy in your game. We're maybe 5 years away from having a Supreme Court justice named like Brinselin or Aniston or so. Like, the names have gone so wild. So it's not a surprise. Yes, yeah, like the Minnesota junior hockey team. Like this. It's no surprise that we have congressmen or state senators called Josh. Yeah.
So this Josh Gottheimer, he faked his Spotify Wrapped results, so it showed that Springsteen was his like number 1 guy. And then when people said that's bullshit, that's clearly been faked, he's like, oh, it's my kid's fault. They did something to it.
Of course. Yeah.
Because he's from New Jersey. And it's like, I'm not connecting so well with my voters. I might as well say my favorite thing in the world is Springsteen.
Let's just read it. It's not hard to be a Bruce Springsteen fan. Millions of people around the world do it every day, effortlessly, relishing the power, the glory, the promise, the majesty, the mystery, and the ministry of rock and roll, as only Bruce Frederick Joseph who Rolling Stone has gone so downhill, this writing, as only Bruce Frederick Joseph Springsteen can deliver it. Bruce Springsteen has all those names? That's too many names. It was much harder to fake. I've heard. It's tough times at he's been playing rock and roll professionally since he's like 19 years old. So I don't like when he talks about the plant and shit and the like tough times in the fields and whatnot. Like, it's worked down at the warehouse, getting laid off. I just not buying that. It's much harder to fake being a Bruce Springsteen fan. And yet that's somehow the situation Josh Gottheimer, a Democratic politician from New Jersey, has found himself in. Gottheimer has represented Jersey's 5th congressional district in the House since 2017, and he's currently trying to secure the Democratic I can't read, Ed, or speak. Nomination for governor ahead of... Oh, he's trying to be your governor, Ed?
Well,
over the years, Gottheimer, as one would expect,
jockeying for the governor spot
from a New Jersey politician, has made plenty of hay about his love of Springsteen. His campaign website describes a youth spent catching a Springsteen show every chance he could get. And when Gottheimer announced his gubernatorial bid last month, he came out to Glory Days, a song famously... That's the one where he says speedball, by the way. He goes, oh, he could throw that old speedball by you. That's not a pitch.
Yeah.
I mean, Bruce, you sound kind of like a sissy. Like, get the terminology. Couldn't little Steven be like, hey, boss, what are you doing here? Like, yeah, you do the face good. Yeah. His campaign, catching it. And when Gottheimer announced his Glory Days, now we're not necessarily here to cast doubt on Gottheimer's Bruce Standum. I need this writer kicked square in the fucking nuts. We are here to do What we are here to do, however, is mock him for faking his Spotify Wrapped to make it look like his top 5 most listened to songs this past year were all Springsteen tracks. Last week's Gottheimer shared a screen grab of his alleged top songs, which boasted 5 great, albeit pretty basic Springsteen classics. Like, that's important. Thunder Road, Because the Night, not even Patti Smith's version, the more famous version, Glory Days, Badlands, and The Rising. On X, Gottheimer wrote, no surprises here. Fun fact. Oh, he's going with the fun fact. I used to do fun fact. Fun fact, my first ever concert was at Meadowlands to see the boss! Exclamation point. I would like to, I bet somebody could fact check that and be like, actually, the boss didn't play the Meadowlands that year. As it turns out, there was one surprise. It was spotted by Terrence McDonald, editor of the New Jersey Monitor and hero, man of the year on the Bar Lifestyle podcast, who noted in the publication's newsletter that the fonts, it's the kerning got him, Ed. Yeah, the fonts and spacing on Gottheimer's supposed Wrapped screen grab were all wrong. So he went on Fiverr, Ed. He was too cheap to get a US-based graphic designer to do it. He went on Fiverr. Right. Yes. He did the shit I do for this podcast. A side-by-side comparison between Gottheimer's Wrapped and a real Spotify Wrap confirmed the discrepancies, most clearly in the shapes of several numbers, as well as the typeface of the letter G in songs.
It's just so his plan was like, Bruce is gonna find out about this, and then he's gonna endorse you.
Yes. Yeah.
And like people love Bruce. Like I love Bruce, but like not like I don't listen to his music, but he's a lovely guy, and but like I don't care about his music that much. But
you can't trust him for anything.
Now that he's been caught fudging it and then blames
this
his
is
kids,
like I got hacked.
If it weren't for them,
Gottheimer eventually owned up to the fabrication. Though if you thought there's no way it could possibly get any lamer than a politician fudging their Spotify Wrapped to look more relatable, Gottheimer managed to outdo himself. Yeah, he blamed it on his kids. Like Ed said, this would be my Spotify Wrapped if I didn't share my account with 12 and 15-year-olds, Gottheimer said. While it's Springsteen all day for me, don't get me wrong, I still love listening to Taylor Swift. Well, that makes him an even bigger fucking loser. Yeah. Oh, Ed! Ed dipped out. Let's see if he comes back on the YouTube. It's just me. Oh, he's back. Oh, the same window. Yeah, I got you, buddy.
I Googled searched him like on the tab that.
What? No.
Livingston, New Jersey. Oh, man, you know where that is? In medieval times.
Let me tell you something right now.
His district is medieval times.
If I had a chance to go to medieval times, like tonight, tomorrow night, I'd be fucking all over that shit. Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh, I'm in. I've been talking with some buddies about, hey, maybe we should get like a party bus.
Chicken. Yes.
Go booze it up and then go to medieval times.
There's probably fucking some good desserts there. We just fuck it up. Watch the horses. The horse will probably take a shit in the ring. They run fucking so fast on those horses. It's fucking wild. Wonderful. It's wild that any human could do that. It's way better than whatever they do on Yellowstone, talking about land. I'm talking about medieval times. I'm going to get a group of people to go to medieval times too.
Land. We're doing our land.
What else is going on in the world of things that are not in fact sports?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's right here.
Where's this fucking? What is it? There's one more story. Oh, yeah. Kisses Gene Simmons. Blames the death of rock music on entitled freckle-faced kids. Yeah. And by the way, my buddy sent me this tweet or Instagram post, and I thought it was the best thing. It's called Kiss. Boomer.
I mean, that's pretty much true. Oh man, I gotta unlock the shit. Hold on, let's go incognito here. how is Kiss like why is Kiss still around? I was just telling somebody the other day, Ed. Do you remember? I believe we talked about it here. That time, I got a guy. His name's Ken, and he delivers water to me. And one time, when I was living the old apartment in Laguna,
okay,
with zero explanation, my water guy Ken delivered me 3 bottles of water, and with the water was a picture, like a developed film picture of him in full Paul Stanley Star Child Kiss makeup, standing with a bass guitar. Now everybody knows Gene Simmons plays the bass, and Gene Simmons is the demon. Paul Stanley is a Star Child, and he plays guitar. So not only did he have Paul Stanley makeup on, he had the wrong instrument. Yeah. And
so he's a super fan who didn't.
I wish I had it.
He's a super
fan around here somewhere, and I keep losing it.
What?
Because I lost it, and then I was telling somebody about it, and I think I was kind of fucked up at the time. Somebody was over here, and I was telling him, and I go, I'm going to ask him to send me that picture again. So I texted him, and I'm like, hey, Ken, remember that picture of you dressed as Paul Stanley from Kiss? Can you send that to me again? Never responded. Never acknowledged it. Never. Why was it there? He left it within my bill, Ed. And then I didn't know what to think, and I showed it to everybody. I think I posted it to my Instagram, and then
you received it.
And then finally, obviously, he wanted a reaction to it. Also, I've met this guy one time. The time he knocked on my door and was like, "Hey, do you want water delivered? I do it for your neighbor." And my neighbor was like, "Yeah, you should do it. It's pretty cheap." And I'm like, "Okay." That's the only time I've ever met him. Ever since then, it's only been a text relationship. And then one time he left that picture at my house. And then when I asked about it, he fucking ghosted me. Yeah.
So he thought you were a boomer juggalo when you called him out, right?
Because the juggalos, of course, our dear friend Shaggy Too Dope, who can be heard at the beginning of the show. Oh, yeah,
dear friend.
Yes, yeah. Shout out Pearl Harbor. Whoop whoop.
Which we just talked about Pearl Harbor.
He had the cure for COVID early on. He said we just needed to eat dirt snow. Dirt snow was going to do it, and he was onto something. Of course, his friend Violent J, who I believe can't tour as much now because of some heart condition, but they're still doing the gathering, which we got to go to out in Ohio this summer. But they're real with it. Kiss, that's just a fucking act. That's just to get your money out of your fucking pocket. That's to sell you caskets, coffins.
Oh yeah.
That's to sell you lunch boxes.
Right. That's to send.
That's right.
Sell a coffin.
He's so rich. He's in his 70s. He's still out there doing it in the stupid makeup and the wig. Kiss frontman Gene Simmons declared that rock and roll is dead because freckle-faced kids feel entitled to download music for free. What is this, 20 years ago? He's got a 20 years ago argument going. In an interview with conservative Bill O'Reilly's still out there? In an interview with Newsmax.
He's not on a real network. He's on like something like obscure.
Glenn Beck, the Mormon.
No. I think he's on like a website. He's like what's his name?
Piers
Glenn
Morgan.
Beck and
Tucker. Tucker.
Who's the guy who just
Alex Jones. Yeah.
No, his thing to the Onion. No, who's the guy?
They're like together. They're all doing websites.
They're all like wrapped up in this weird.
Yeah. We're gonna find out that
they're all on like these websites that nobody outside of their followers know.
It's not, hold on. In an interview with the conservative pundit Bill O'Reilly, the 75-year-old rocker, in addition to addressing, and look, Kiss sucks, their music sucks. In addition to addressing the fate of the music industry, discussed his decision to record music for a recent Ronald Reagan biopic and agreed with O'Reilly that Donald Trump is a rock star. But now he's just trolling people, right? Like, come on.
What would Kiss?
I don't know. Yeah. asked to highlight one big change he had observed in the music world over the years. How would he know? Simmons made a bold assertion. Unfortunately, the business model is dead. No shit. And new bands don't have a chance. That's because of record labels. Especially, yeah. In a certain way, rock is finally dead. Rock and roll is dead because the freckle-faced kid next door to you, who is a good kid with a good family and everything, has become entitled. Feels entitled to be able to download music and file share and get all of his music for free. That doesn't even exist anymore. That's a 20-year-old argument. Well, okay. Fuck Gene Simmons. They do.
Boomers love talking about entitlement when
they're like, when I got out of free college, I got my job at GM for 60 years and I got a $12 house. You need to pull yourself up by the bootstraps.
I
hungered down. Live into this day. It's worth $9 million
to buy a house. Oh, cool.
Yeah. I got here. Okay, fuck Gene Simmons. For fucking Gene Simmons. Okay, hold on a second. Look, I got to change the bank right here. Get it over to here. And then I hit this. Look, I know what I'm doing. It's a good feeling. Great game.
Closing tabs.
If you are a Path of Exile 2 player, call in 949-464-TBLS. Also looking for herpes sufferers, 949-464-TBLS, or physicians. For Ed Daly, my name is Brian Beckner. This has been the Baller Lifestyle Podcast, episode 555. We'll see you next week.
Hell yes, the Lifestyles Baller podcast getting bigger and not smaller. Broadcasting weekly, that's what we do. With Easy Ed Daly and the man Jay Stu and Brian Beckner, quick to dissect the week in sports and culture and whatever. Plus Daly's Choice Ed's taking a peek while you're over at the urinal taking a leak.
Oh, that's a good look, Ed.
Yeah, I got one.
You can't out handsome me anymore. It's enough. It's enough already, all right? People are already calling me ugly on the thing.
Even the haters love us, and we're not trying to talk politics a
lot.
We'd much rather talk about dicks a
lot. All right, buddy.
But I need him for reading.